This has ended up being a bit of a busier day than I expected. I do have a Lee Stempniak board set up for anybody who's wondering. We'll do that video tomorrow. I have to go to the kids' hockey today, which is where the whole coaching thing happens. And so my time to put things together drops because when I get home, there's already games on, so I go straight into watching games and taking notes. All right. Today, Phoenix Copley was put on waivers by the Washington Capitals. I think he clears. I do. Samsonov wins the backup job. So Holtby's going to be looking over his shoulder because he's negotiating an extension with the Washington Capitals. If Samsonov looks really good, that actually drops the likelihood of the Capitals feeling they have to hold on to him. And that's been kind of the expectation with Samsonov for about the last year, I'd say, where people have looked at Samsonov and said, you know what, he's going to be the guy that replaces Holtby. So he may very well be training his replacement right now. We know how that feels. Jason Spezza is a healthy scratch. So throughout training camp, we were hearing that Mike Babcock, not a fan of Jason Spezza being picked up and not likely to have him in the lineup. Nick Shore's in the lineup. Jason Spezza is not. So this is a large surprise to me as a hockey fan, in that when they brought Spezza in, it was this: we're bringing him home. He's playing for a league minimum contract. He's playing for the love of the game. Babcock goes, he's kind of slow, isn't he? He's a little older. And it reminds me again about how Chris Chelios said that when Chelios played for him, he just didn't want to play him. He's just like, no. And veteran players have a harder time getting that ice time under Babcock, because he'll just get that opinion of, no. And then that's it. It's just done. The Bruins are talking about an extension with Torrey Krug. Now, Krug, in order to stay in Boston and make sure that they don't have this cap meltdown, he's going to have to take less money than he'd take as an unrestricted free agent. But Torrey Krug has to know he has it good here. 5-on-5, he's suspect at times, but as a special teams player, he's excellent. And he's been one of my favorite players with the Bruins for a while. I'm kind of assuming he may leave, but if they get an extension done, that could be excellent for Boston and excellent for Torrey as well. He may very well know, hey, I may take less money to stay in Boston, but I'll have a longer career, and I love being here. That might be the thought process. And for people wondering, David Krejci might play tomorrow. He's still on the iffy list. Dave Tippett spoke on McDavid and Draisaitl being on separate lines, because this is big news if you're an Oilers fan, that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is third-line center, Draisaitl's second line, and McDavid's first line. And Tippett says they're going to play together, of Draisaitl and McDavid. My feeling is this: on the power play, they're going to be together, but 5-on-5, they're going to be on separate lines. And he said, them being together set a 40-year record for the rest of the forwards not scoring. So he's talking about the rest of the Edmonton forwards just couldn't get anything going, and he feels that it's a direct relation to these guys being together, that they score a bunch together, but if you're really going to make things work in Edmonton, they have to be on separate lines. And what he says is, if these guys are going to be elite players, they need to pick up their line mates. They need to show that they can run a line. And I believe both of them can. Will this affect Draisaitl's scoring? Absolutely. Will this affect McDavid's scoring? Absolutely. You'll see goals drop for Draisaitl, I would say 35. If he doesn't play on the same line with McDavid, well, you got to factor in power play goals too. I'd say, okay, 40. 40 for Draisaitl. And McDavid, his assists would drop without having Draisaitl to pass to regularly. So, plan accordingly, I guess. So it'll be an interesting year for Edmonton, because Dave Tippett's already putting his stamp on this team, and Ken Holland's already made it clear that there's going to be a culture change. It's going to be quite the year. Tampa Bay's jinxed. They are the consensus cup champs early on. I've looked at predictions everywhere as we get ready for the season, and everybody's going, yep, Tampa. I've seen occasional predictions of Toronto or Vegas, or I picked the Capitals. I've seen Colorado picked as champions. But yeah, the consensus seems to be most, and I'd say about 80% of the votes from different websites and different hockey pundits have Tampa winning the Stanley Cup. So that means they're jinxed. Usually the consensus winner does not win the Stanley Cup the following year. And I'm not sure what the reason for that is. I blame parity. And last but not least, Ryan Reaves can't leave it alone. He gets asked about Evander Kane, and you know that they're asking him because they know they're going to get a good soundbite. And he does say something interesting here. He says he's weak of Evander Kane. He gets taken down. He said taken. He gets taken down by a ref. It happens. Got to get in the gym, no? And then also when he was asked, do you think Evander Kane is targeted when he's in a scrum? Because that's been Kane's talking point. I'm always the guy that gets targeted in a scrum. He said no. No. But he also said that he's sad that he won't be on the ice with him. You get the feeling from the way Reaves is talking about this that, A, this is more fuel for the fire for this feud between these two teams. Greatest in hockey right now. And he's also taking a dig at Kane. So saying, it's better when he's on the ice. He's almost saying straight out, I think he's a distraction to his team, and I think he actually costs them when he's on the ice and pulling crap like this. Again, the suspension has had divisive opinions all over. Some people say it should have been 10. Some say 3 is fine. And there are those, including Brian Burke, that say, hey, he shouldn't have been suspended at all. So this is one heck of a start to the season, and you want a quotable guy, you go straight to Reaves in the Vegas locker room. He will always give you something quotable. And I agree with Reaves. I don't think Kane was being targeted in these things. I think it was just, Kane was a little off. And I think he was really emotional. And I think he wasn't able to tamp that down throughout the night. So we won't see him in the first 3 games of the year. The 2 of those first 3 games, of course, are against Vegas. And that all starts tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Does Copley clear waivers? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and I'll talk to you again soon.